Hello there, boys and girls. It's Fog, and welcome to Redstone 101. I hope you brought your pencils. Have you ever felt a bit overwhelmed by some of the cool redstone creations you see out there on the YouTubes? You ever wonder how they work? You ever think, gee, I could never do anything like that? Well, then this is the series for you. Over the course of the next few videos, I intend to examine and explain redstone in detail. I'm going to start really simple, and I'm going to gradually build up, and hopefully by the time we're done, you'll be able to teach me a thing or two. So let's head on over to the lab and let's learn a thing or two. This is redstone ore. It's a little sparkly. It glows when you step on it or when you punch it. So you find it at level 16 or lower. And to mine it, you need to use an iron pick. If you use a stone pick, you get nothing. But if you use an iron pick, you get this stuff, redstone dust. Or, of course, you can just go into creative mode, and then you can find all of it that you could ever want. For most of these videos, I'll be sticking with creative mode. So, what exactly is redstone? Well, it's not electricity, although it behaves a little like it. What it is it's a mechanism for generating and transmitting signals which can be used to trigger events in the game, such as opening a door, or playing a sound, or moving a piston. Combine a stick and a little bit of redstone dust in a crafting table, or a crafting window, and you get a redstone torch. Think of the Minecraft world as a 3D grid of cubes or blocks. Blocks can be either powered or unpowered. If you place a redstone torch in a block, that block becomes a power source, and it's capable of transmitting a signal to neighboring blocks, so long as they're capable of receiving that signal. Place a cobblestone block and a stick together, and you get a lever. A lever is another way of creating a power source, but in this case, the power source can be either on or off. Surround a piece of glowstone with 4 pieces of redstone, and you get a redstone lamp. Notice that if I place one next to a torch or a powered block, it glows. Notice that when I turn the switch on, the glowstone lamp next to the switch turns on, but this glowstone lamp does not. By using redstone wire, a little bit of redstone dust on the ground, I can connect the switch to that lamp and make the lamp turn on when I throw the switch. So redstone dust acts like a wire, extending or transmitting the signal from a power source to whatever blocks it's connected to. You can use redstone wire to transmit a signal across all sorts of different paths. But do note that it doesn't transmit to blocks that it doesn't connect to. So as we mentioned, redstone dust can be used like a wire to extend the signal from a redstone power source. But it turns out that it can only extend it so far. Whenever a block changes powered state, the game has to do some work to track that. So I presume that in order to keep the game from being overwhelmed and keep things manageable, the programmers have decided to limit the distance that redstone dust can transmit signals to 15 blocks away from the power source. So you notice that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 of these lamps are lit. The 16th lamp is not. You'll also notice if I add a switch here that the signal is transmitted instantly for the entire length of those 15 blocks. You also might notice that when the block that it's on is actually powered, a redstone torch will go out and stop transmitting power. So right now, this dust is receiving its power from this torch, and the switch is off. If I turn the switch on, the torch goes off, and the redstone dust no longer can receive any power, and so the lamps go out, on, and off. So I could just as easily replace this redstone torch with a switch. Now it's on, now it's off. You have basically the same behavior. Notice that unlike wire in the real world, there isn't really a circuit here. The signal behaves as if it were instantly transmitted along the entire length of the redstone wire. Also notice that when the redstone dust's powered, it glows. The closer it is to a power source, the brighter the glow. You can use that to get an estimate for how far the glow is how far the power is going to reach. And if you don't see those little sparkles, you've gone too far. Also notice that redstone dust doesn't have to be laid out in a straight line, and it doesn't have to be laid out on a flat surface. You can bring it up and over things and down and around any way, any shape you can make the dust go. As long as you don't go farther than 16 blocks, you can make that connection. So what do you do if you want to go more than 15 blocks? Well, here's one way to do it. These magenta blocks here form what's called a repeater. The redstone dust here attaches to this block. So if we turn this redstone on, this block is powered, and because torches attached to a powered block are off, this torch no longer powers this redstone, which means this block is off, which means this torch is on. And this redstone receives power from that torch, which transmits the signal. So if I turn it off, the signal's transmitted over to here. If I turn it on, it's transmitted over there. Notice that this time the signal isn't instant. There's a slight delay while you wait for those torches to switch. You can use that same principle to bring redstone signals up or down, like this. So old-style torch repeaters like this are fine, but they're a little bit big and they're a little bit bulky, and if you're doing anything with redstone, you need to be able to extend signals quite a long ways. That's a very common thing to need to do, and so for that reason, Notch introduced one of these. This is a redstone repeater, and it's a repeater block, and it works just like that repeater over there. So you can see when I throw the switch, after a short delay, the signal's transmitted. In order to build a repeater, you need 3 smooth stone blocks, a bit of redstone dust, and a pair of redstone torches. Note that it's important those have to be smooth stone, and that gets you a redstone repeater. Another thing that you might notice on a redstone repeater is that it has these 2 redstone torches in it, and that if you right click on a repeater, this torch moves. What that is that's a delay setting. Right now this redstone repeater is set to a 1 tick delay. That's set to a 2-tick delay. That's a 3-tick delay. And that's a 4-tick delay. And what it does is it delays the amount of time it takes for the signal to pass through the repeater, like that. It's also important to notice that a Redstone repeater will only transmit power in the direction that it's facing. It also won't receive power along its side. Other ways to send a redstone signal include buttons and pressure plates. They basically all act the same way. The difference between a wooden pressure plate and a stone pressure plate is that stone pressure plates don't respond to dropped blocks, while wooden ones do. Either pressure plate will respond to a mob, for instance. So some of the things that you can do with redstone power is trigger events in the game. You can do things like power doors, or fence posts, or pistons, or note blocks, or dispensers, or rail cars. So that's it for this episode. I realize this episode we've gotten pretty basic. I promise next episode we'll go into more depth and we'll do some more exciting things. But I wanted to lay a good firm groundwork so that by the time we get around to doing some more exciting stuff, we're all on the same page. So next time we'll go into much more depth. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.